Hello friends, let us study about the connections of vestibular system. Here is the cortex, then here is the thalamus, midbrain, pons, medulla, right? And what did we say? So if this is my vestibular apparatus, from here, the fibers which arise, they all are going to go to where? They are going to go to the vestibular nucleus. The vestibular nucleus is present in the ponto-medullary junction, and it is made up of 4 nuclei. So what are those 4 nuclei? The superior one, the lateral one, the medial one, the inferior one. So this is superior one, this is the lateral one, this is the inferior one, and this is the medial nuclei. Now these fibers which are coming from the vestibular system, from the different sets of the vestibular system, where they are going? They are going to these nuclei, the vestibular nucleus. Now, these have got 3 destinations. One pathway is then they can come down as vestibulospinal tract. Now, where is this? Again, it is starting from the vestibule, the vestibular nucleus, and going to the spinal cord. Hence, the name has come as vestibulospinal tract. Where is it originating from? So vestibular nucleus actually is a group of 4 nuclei. So we can divide them as superior vestibular nucleus, lateral vestibular nucleus, medial vestibular nucleus, or the inferior vestibular nucleus. Okay. So the fibers, they are going to arise from these vestibular nuclei, and they are going to see these fibers are going to arise from the vestibular nuclei, which is present in the pons, and these vestibular nucleus are actually getting the inputs from the vestibular apparatus. These fibers originate from the vestibular nuclei. They descend down as lateral vestibulospinal tract or the medial vestibulospinal tract. These medial vestibulospinal tract, as they descend down, they go to the what you call as the anterior column. They go to the anterior funiculus. Some of these lateral ones, they also go to the anterior ones. And see here, they come down and they give fibers to the muscles. What is important here to note is that some of these, effects, as we can see here, the lateral corticospinal tract, it has come to the anterior funiculus. Then from there, it gives the fibers either to the muscles directly, or it may even stimulate the internuncial neurons or the interneurons, especially for the case of medial vestibulospinal tract. They may stimulate the internuncial or interneurons, which may cross over, and these commissural interneurons are going to innervate your anterior horn cells or spinal motor fibers on the opposite side. So what it says actually is that these vestibulospinal tracts, they have both ipsilateral as well as their contralateral supply. Why it is important is because if you get a stimulus from the vestibular apparatus, you actually need to maintain a balance or a posture. And for that, you need a communication or the commands to be sent on both the sides, on both of your left and right side, so that you can make a posture, or you can just establish an equilibrium so that you just don't fall in different states of posture. These vestibular fibers, they are going into the cerebellum, and they even get a connection from the cerebellum. So there is to and fro connection from the cerebellum. In the cerebellum, they go to a lobe, what is called as flocculonodular lobe. It is one of the oldest lobe of cerebellum. There are 3rd, 4th, and 6th cranial nerve nuclei who are going to be involved with vestibulo-ocular reflex fibers, which have arisen from here. They may go as medial longitudinal fasciculus. So they are going to go and give to my 3rd, 4th, and 6th cranial nerve. So this was one way that from the vestibular nucleus, we have connection to the spinal cord as vestibulospinal tract. Then we have connections from the vestibular nuclei to the cerebellum, from the cerebellum to the vestibular nucleus. The other connections that they had is, the 3rd connection was, as these fibers are ascending up, they will give fibers to 3rd, 4th, 6th cranial nerve. which are supplying to my extraocular muscles. Fourth is some of the fibers may go to the thalamus. In the thalamus, they may go to the ventromedial nucleus or ventrolateral posterior nucleus. From here, the fibers go to the head and neck area, which is representing the vestibular part. So this was the fourth destination. So we have, what are those four destinations? To the spinal cord, to the cerebellum, to the three nuclei of the extraocular muscles, supplying to the extraocular muscles, to the thalamus as vestibulothalamic tract, and from the thalamus to the cortex, that is thalamocortical fibers.